Imagine that this Sunday, I'm gonna go visit a friend. This friend has cancer and is on chemo, so it would be terrifying if I exposed them to COVID-19, which given their weakened immune state, could be fatal. Before I see my friend, I need to know that I'm not infected. I need to take a COVID test. But here's the tricky part. Which kind of COVID test should I take? Does it matter? Should I take a test that uses nose swabs or saliva or throat swabs? Should I take a test that's run by a laboratory, or can I take a rapid test at home? These are the questions that my research helped answer. My colleagues and I asked people in the community to collect nose swabs, saliva, and throat swabs every morning for about 2 weeks. From people who became infected, we measured the amount of virus over time through the course of the infection, or the viral load roller coaster. Now, at the beginning of the pandemic, there was an assumption that among these sample types, the viral load roller coaster generally followed the same shape. The amount of virus would rise and fall at the same time in each sample type. And for that reason, it wouldn't make too much of a difference which sample type you use for testing. But our data revealed that actually, each of these sample types follow their own distinct viral load roller coaster track. Saliva in blue, throat swab in orange, and nose swab in green. And because these different sample types follow their own distinct viral load roller coaster tracks, it does make a difference which sample type I use for my COVID-19 test. So which sample type should I use? For most people, we saw that saliva first appears in saliva and throat swabs, and several days later in nose swabs. What this means is that if I was infected today, day 0, I would have little to no virus in my nose for several days. And if I were to take a nose swab COVID-19 test before seeing my friend on Sunday, I would likely get a negative result, even though I would have high infectious amounts of virus in my saliva and throat swabs. Instead, these viral load roller coaster curves show us that if I want to be more confident that I'm not infected, I should test for virus both in my nose and my throat. So should I run to the store, buy a rapid test, and swab my nose and my throat? Not quite yet. Currently in the United States, all at-home rapid COVID tests are only validated for use with nose swabs. Throat swabs can have food or different kinds of mucus that can interfere with the test. So before we start using throat swabs with these tests, we need to know that they're going to work. Fortunately, the FDA and test manufacturers have paid attention to this data and are currently working to validate combination throat and nose swabs for use with COVID tests. And what about other viruses? This data raises the question of whether common viruses like flu or RSV might also have their own distinct viral load roller coasters, and that if we were to measure them, we would be able to better test for those viruses as well. And of course, knock on wood, if a new virus emerges with pandemic potential, we should very quickly measure these viral load roller coasters to figure out how to best test and keep each other safe. Thank you.